So to further expand my questions, I left off in question 4. So in the future, I can use this knowledge by using the same questions template to see what audience I'm trying to portray my research to. Another thing I learned is to put out information to lure your audience. In the past, I knew that the only way to get an audience was by writing. However, there is so much more to that. You have to learn to see what specifically the audience might want to see, such as videos, as I incorporated in my research. In this class, I learned this by giving the audience what they want. Example from classwork. So this is just something that I posted on my social media. And it's just like a little video that I put together. In the future, I can use this knowledge by knowing different ways to give the audience what they desire and just giving them what they want. Question 5 is, what do you know now about how to compose posts for your audience that you didn't know before my class? How has audience impacted the way you compose your post? What was the most difficult thing you experienced while trying to compose, create, design posts for your specific audience for social media? I learned how to figure out what to use, an infographic, podcast, or short videos. In the past, I would deal with this by not even thinking about making either of those resources. I am only used to doing research and writing. In this class, I learned this by going with what fit best for my research. Some of the readings that Professor Bonnie provided for us were also helpful in rethinking what I wanted to put out to my audience. Example from classwork. So this is just like part of one of the readings that Miss Bonnie provided for us. And it's just helping me like answer some questions to see what I want to end up doing with my research. In the future, I can use this knowledge by seeing what will fit best in my research. It all just depends what your research is to put up your best information. Another thing I learned is formatting and presenting info to meet audience's needs. In the past, I knew to not meet the audience's needs and just write about my research, not necessarily experimenting to see what would be good. In this class, I learned this by having an experiment with my research. I made an experiment to see what group of people learned more in each station. I learned it is important to engage your audience to gain information from them so I can incorporate it in my research. Example from classwork. So this is just something that this is like one of the experiments that I made, which is like gathering as many people and having many stations so I can see what each and every station may have thought. Another example is this. So I did step by step of how I wanted to do my experiment. In the future, I can use this knowledge by engaging my audience more in my research to experiment and learn more about my topic. Question 6. What do you know now about working with your peers that you didn't know before my class? What was the most difficult thing you experienced while working with your peers? I learned getting comfortable with criticism. It's not personal, it's about the work. In the past, I would deal with this by accepting the criticism and seeing what I can change to improve my research. Although in the past, I did not want to believe that there wasn't anything wrong with my research, but I learned to take others' advice to improve. In this class, I learned this by receiving feedback from my professor and my peers. Although I did not get much feedback from my peers, but I did get feedback from my professor. An example is this one. So this is just one assignment that I had posted. So after I have posted it, the professor gave me some feedback, and when I saw that I was off topic, I was so devastated. But I took this and I changed my research a whole lot. So sorry. In the future, I can use this knowledge by accepting this feedback, and I really changed my research after my professor gave me this comment. Another thing I learned is that video blogs help me a lot to see what I can improve in and how I was in the beginning seeing my progress. In the past, I knew to see my progress and where I was in my research, but I did not know that the video blogs that we needed to do for this class was going to be helpful. In this class, I learned this by doing video blogs. An example is...
Hello, my name is Natalie, and in this video blog, I will be reflecting on my second social media post. The first question is, what was it like for you to find and evaluate secondary sources about your chosen situation or problem? So what was it like for me? It was actually pretty fun and interesting because I got to learn things that I didn't know of, but then I also got to remember like things that I did know. And it was just like a similarity and things that I didn't know of, and it was fun to put that together and put things that I didn't know of and put things that I do know of in my social media podcast that I made. What was the most interesting thing you discovered and learned as you searched and evaluated your source?
So this is just one of the video blogs that I made. And these video blogs really helped me get more comfortable with my research. So in the future, I can use this knowledge by seeing where I am at my research by doing these short video blogs, answering questions of how I feel towards my research. Question 7. What do you know now about how feedback works that you didn't know before in my class? What was the most difficult thing you experienced while engaging in feedback in my class? I learned that sometimes you get a block from looking at the same project for a week, and sometimes the answer is really simple that others can see. In the past, I would deal with this by not even thinking of going to my peers to see what information they might give me. I would simply just avoid it and move on. In this class, I learned this by having feedback sessions. An example from classwork is, I think it's this. Yes. So one of my classmates gave me this is just one of my classmates that gave me good feedback, and I actually used this for my advantage, and it was very helpful. In the future, I can use this knowledge by asking my peers for feedback and giving them a chance, because I wasn't really too convinced that feedback would really help, but this comment really helped me a lot when I was stuck and needed new information. Another thing I learned is how to give feedback. In the past, I knew that giving feedback wasn't too important, and I thought that people wouldn't really take the feedback you give them, but a lot of peers were looking for pretty clear stuff that I could have helped. In this class, I learned this by knowing exactly what to give to our peers. Some peers were very clear in what they wanted, so it made giving feedback easy. I learned to be specific and giving exactly what my peers wanted. An example from classwork is, I believe it's this one. Yes. So in all of the feedback sessions, it gave us like of how to give feedback, and it really helped me a lot. So I can help my peers and give them good feedback. In the future, I can use this knowledge by taking feedback sessions seriously to gain good feedback back for your own research.